What is a motivation letter? A motivation letter is a 1 to 1.5 page essay in which a candidate for studying tells why he wants to study at a particular university in a particular specialty. Here you need to describe your experience, and it should answer two main questions. Why are you a suitable candidate? And why did you choose this particular university? What is the purpose of this letter? The goal is to convince the admissions committee to choose you among other candidates and prove that the university needs you. You are interested not only to gain knowledge, but also to work on the development of the educational institution. Yeah, that's right. In the motivational essay, the student should tell about himself, write about his merits, talents, and why he should be enrolled in the course. According to the motivation letter, the admission committee can judge the personality of the applicant, his goals and merits. The value of a motivational letter. Without a motivation letter for the admission committee, the applicant is just figures and facts. Average score, language test result, dates of study, citizenship, and so on. Since most foreign universities accept without exams, a motivation letter is a candidate's business card and the only opportunity to show himself as a personality, not a faceless person with a set of publications and achievements. There are many cases when applicants with a weak background entered the university thanks to a perfectly written motivation letter. When the admissions committee reads all the motivation letters, on average, employees devote no more than 20 to 30 seconds to each. A list of questions for brainstorming before writing a motivation letter. Future education. Why do you want to study at this particular university? Why this exact specialty? Why should the university choose you? What do you think distinguishes this university from others? What makes you a unique or special candidate? Are there any specific people who influenced your choice? Do you have a personal interest in this subject, and how did it come about? Are there any specific teachers you would like to work with? Do they specialize in areas that interest you? How will you be useful to the university and fellow students? What distinguishes this university, this program from other universities and similar programs? Do you have the skills to study in the chosen program? What exactly do you expect to get from studying at the chosen educational program? Imagine that you have already been chosen. What courses will you attend, and how the program help you unlock your potential? Why do you think that you will be one of the best students in the chosen program? Past or current education. What kind of education do you have? Tell about your academic performance. Indicate the average score, scholarships and grants received. How does your education correspond to the chosen field? Do you have knowledge of the subject acquired during previous studies, preparation of a research paper or a project? Have you received scholarships? Do you have the skills that you will need to study in the chosen program? Past experience. When did you first become interested in your chosen field of knowledge? What have you learned since then about this area of knowledge and about yourself that spurred your interest? How did you become interested in your chosen field of knowledge? Classes at school, university, reading books, conferences, communication with people working in this field. Can you recall an event that reinforced your confidence in the correctness of choosing a career path? Have you already achieved in this area? What skills have you already acquired in this specialty? Tell about your research papers, volunteering experience, participation in conferences, victories at major Olympiads, and about your overall academic performance. Tell about your hobbies and interests if they relate to the chosen program. What non-academic experience corresponding to the chosen specialty do you have? Personal experience. What is distinctive about your life? Here you can tell about events, impressions from your own life or your family members, valuable victories for you, personalities who contributed to the formation of your goals, and have you ever overcome unusual everyday obstacles like economic, political, family? Maybe physical obstacles. How did you overcome them? Try not to make it look like you're trying to justify your failures with difficulties. If you had to work during higher education or school education or during the holidays, what have you learned? For example, leadership or managerial qualities, and how did your work experience during your school or student years affect your development? What are your main achievements and why do you consider them achievements? Are there any films, books, or works of art that have influenced your worldview or experience? Why did you like them? Is there a period in your life that turned out to be the most difficult for you, and why? How has your worldview changed as a result of the difficulties? Have you ever had to fight passionately for something and as a result achieve your goal? Thanks to what did you succeed? Did you have to fight for anything and as a result suffer defeat? And what was your reaction to the failure? What would you like to do most right now? Where would you like to be? With whom? Someone who's living right now or living before you would you most like to spend time? And have you ever experienced a feeling of enlightenment as if you had not noticed some things and phenomena before? What are your dreams? What will allow you to consider your life successful in 5 to 10 years? How does this grant program fit into your plans for the future? Personal qualities and skills. What is your main character trait? Do you have strong beliefs or adherence to certain principles? How would your friends describe you? What would they write about if they wrote your motivation letter instead of you? Do you have any characteristics, qualities, skills that distinguish you from others? How did you develop them? What personal qualities would you like to mention? What skills do you have? For example, analytical, managerial, communicative. How can you be of interest to the faculty, teachers, and other students? Career. What will education abroad give you? What are your career plans and which chosen educational program will help to implement them? How will this program help you in the future? What industry attracts you the most and why? Are there any companies that you'd like to work for and why? And if you want to start your own business, describe why did you decide to choose this path and in what field do you plan to work? How do you plan to use your knowledge in the future? What can you do for yourself and others having the chosen profession? Which of the qualities, skills, and knowledge necessary for the described career plan do you have and what do you need to develop? How do you imagine your dream job? What the admissions committee doesn't like. Clichés and common phrases. Retelling of a resume. The motivation letter should complement the representation of the members of the admissions committee about you and not provide the same information that they can read in the resume. There is no need to focus too much on the long-term presentation of yourself. It would be much better to share some life situation that had a significant impact or your decision to take part in this project. There is no need to speak ill of your past academic supervisors and teachers. This does not inspire the sympathy of the admissions committee and will expose the bad in you. Do not use in your speech those words the meaning of which you are not completely sure of. Do not turn a motivation letter into a list of your achievements. Plagiarism is prohibited. If the motivation is only to get an interesting experience, it will not suit the admissions committee. You need to be more specific about what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and so on. Carelessness, typos, grammatical errors, frequent repetitions, and so on. Avoid this. Excessive volume of a motivational letter does not determine its quality, and as a rule, the admissions committee will not read such motivational letters. As a rule, excess volume occurs due to the excessive detail or repetition. If the sentence does not carry a semantic load, it must be deleted. Lack of logical transitions between theses. The unaccounted format of a letter. In some countries and cultures, for example in Italy or France, motivational letters and similar documents are issued with an indication of the address, etiquette, forms of politeness, and so on. Don't use ridiculous and inappropriate jokes, as well as caps lock text. It is associated with a raised tone, irritation, and stupidity. Avoid repetition. It's enough to write about your cool scientific work once. You do not need to specify as motivation the study of the language of the country in which you'll be studying, and there is no need to write about unnecessary facts. If, for example, a master's degree is related to education and pedagogical technologies, it is worth writing about your pedagogical achievements, knowledge of foreign languages, but you do not need to tell that you were the best consultant of the month in a clothing store of Zara. It's necessary to impose yourself in a motivation letter, but observe the measure. You shouldn't talk about yourself. You don't have to share what a wonderful son your mother has, the best student in the school, and an unsurpassed player in the local football team. Be sure to say that you're looking forward for the interview, but do not tearfully ask to take you as a student and say that you're the best candidate. And if you want me to share with you examples of unique letters in English and other languages, visit my website smaps.com. The link will be in the description, and also write to the online consultants in the chat. They will definitely share with you interesting and useful information about how to write motivational letters. We wish you good luck and remind you that SMAPS Education is always at your service. How can we help you? We can choose educational programs according to your criteria, conduct a super informative consultation on your questions, help in writing the perfect motivation letter, write a letter of recommendation, edit your resume, check your creative portfolio, and much, much more. Thousands of our students are already studying abroad, and you for sure can be among them. Do not forget to subscribe and don't miss our new videos.